let's see how they work.
Those of you in the audience, if you have your phone. Get started? Okay, well, good morning. My name is Myrna Barushi. I'm going to be your special magistrate today. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means it's similar to court, but the rules are less formal. Everybody that's here for a case is going to have an up. I'm going to have you go up to that podium right there, state your name and relationship to those of you who will be providing testimony this morning. Please stand up for the right hand up. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing? With that, I will ask the town to please call the first case.
We go with our base officers as we usually. First case, Special Magistrate is case number 1. The reference number is 73220-490. Citation, and the respondent violator is Don Root, R-O-O-T. And the officer is Officer Kitcha.
Yes.
Officer Kitcha, could you please state your name for the record?
Name Joseph Kitcha.
Employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach.
Yes, I am.
In what capacity?
I work for Fort Myers Beach. I work for base.
One of your responsibilities, officer, to enforce the city or the town's parking regulations.
Yes.
Familiar with citation 73220-490?
Yes, I am.
Can you please tell the special magistrate how you're familiar with this case?
Okay. I was patrolling Mango Beach access, and I came across this car. I saw that it was parked in 2 spaces. 23 about to stick in. I issued a ticket and put it on her windshield.
Did you take any photographs of the
Yes.
those photographs in the file?
Yes.
That is before the special magistrate?
Yes.
Follow up by issuing entering a notice of today's hearing, or the ability of today's hearing, to that included in the mailing that was sent out.
Yes, my supervisor.
Are you aware if Ms. Root did or did not ask for a hearing today? Photographs that are in the file accurately reflect the condition of violation, or the violation for which Ms. Root was cited for?
Yes.
What is the amount of the citation?
Oh, excuse me. That'd be $50.
Are any administrative fees associated with this that you're aware of?
No.
Or should you?
75, is that what we know? 75 admin fees, yes, sorry.
Nothing further.
Pay within 10 days.
The 35 or 50? I heard you say 2 things.
In the file, Madam Magistrate, is an email. Citation
right, do we have somebody here on behalf of the respondent? All right, with that, I'm ready to do my ruling. I hereby find that the violation stated citation number 7322040 did exist, and I'm thereby imposing a fine of $50 and assessing fees and costs in the amount of $75 as incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate. Okay, ready for the next one?
73219-871. Violator is Joshua Keller. Also, Officer Kitcha is the issue. Officer Kitcha, you've been sworn, correct?
Yes.
And you previously testified that you are a base officer for the town of Fort Myers Beach, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And in that capacity, you are responsible for enforcing the town's parking regulations?
That's correct.
Are you familiar with citation 73219-871?
Yes, I am.
Can you please tell the special magistrate how you're familiar with the citation?
Okay, I was patrolling Bay Oaks in the evening. I was patrolling Bay Oaks, and I went around the back, and I noticed two cars in a handicap spot. One had a placard, and this car did not have a placard. So I pulled in next to it, stopped, checked the tags, checked the car. There's no placard. So I issued him a citation for no parking in a handicap zone.
Did you issue the citation or a notice of today's hearing in accordance with the normal procedures that the town follows for hearings of this nature?
No.
Was this sent out?
Yes.
Okay, the notice of today and advising
Yes, my supervisor did that.
that Mr. Keller could ask for a hearing.
Yes.
Do you know if Mr. Keller asked or didn't ask for a hearing?
I don't know.
Okay. But he did not pay the citation prior to today's hearing, is that correct? All right. What is the amount of the citation on the face of the ticket, or?
I believe it's 230. So 200.
And in addition to $75 administrative fee? Or
200 or 250?
250.
200.
I'm sorry, 200? All right. 200 plus administrative fee at $5.
Do we have any? That nobody's here on behalf of the. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in citation number C73219 did exist, and I'm imposing the fine of $200 and fees and costs in the amount of $75 as incurred by the town in bringing this matter to the magistrate.
Next is citation on the agenda, citation 736-00181. The car owner is Carlos Feliciano, and the officer is Pergoli. Officer Pergoli. Officer Pergoli, can you please state your full name for the record?
Mark Pergoli.
Employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach.
That's correct.
Employed by the town.
I'm an officer.
Beach and street enforcement.
Base officers, that your responsibility, one of your responsibilities is to enforce the town's parking regulations.
Yes.
Are you familiar with citation 736-00181?
Yes, I am.
Please tell the special magistrate how you're familiar.
On January 18th of this year, while patrolling in the Times Square area, I was monitoring the vehicles that were paid in case 18. I found that the vehicle was not paying for the town and issued a overtime meter.
Haven't had an overtime one so far today. This is the first one. Can you tell the special magistrate how you check that?
Sure. We have phones that have a monitoring service on right up to the very second. Look at it, and it indicates the app or currency as well as credit. Yes, I checked it, I believe, twice just to make sure that it was properly, citation was properly.
There are a series of photographs in the file that it's been provided to Special Magistrate. Those pictures reflect the condition where the car was parked and at the time that you determined there was a violation of the town code.
Yes, we take 3 photographs, usually one of the license plate to identify who the offender is, as well as the parking space, and then any ticket visible on.
Provided the printout sheet of that you just testified to, is that correct?
Yes,
Did the town generate a standard notice of this hearing and the procedure?
that's correct. My supervisor.
The necessary information to and that they have court to challenge the ticket.
Further? Oh, I'm sorry, can you please state the amount of the citation?
Excuse me, the amount of the citation is $35.
The town is also looking for some administrative fees.
That's correct.
That's correct.
All right, do we have somebody here on behalf of the respondent? Nobody here on behalf of Mr. Feliciano? All right. For a copy of the log, which details the space numbers and when the time allotted for each space number on the day in question, and it confirms the fact that at 3:24 p.m. The car was parked without payment. Therefore, based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation stated in citation number 736-00181 did exist, and I'm hereby imposing the fine of $35 and assessing fees and costs as incurred by the town in the amount of $75. $75. Due within 10 days. That applies to all the previous orders too. 10 days. Okay, next one.
Your Honor, due to technical difficulties, we've had to shut down that
okay.
microphone, so everyone will have to speak and just take turns between staff and respondents over on this side.
Not a problem.
Special Magistrate, the next item on the agenda is number 4. Violation is CE 914. The code enforcement officer is Steve Wick. Property owner is Timothy Thiel. Officer Wick, can you please state your full name for the record?
Steve Wick.
And are you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach?
I am employed.
And what capacity?
Certified floodplain manager.
Your responsibility as the employee of the town and floodplain manager to enforce the stormwater drainage regulations of the town.
It is.
Familiar with the property located at 464 Washington Court?
I am.
And with the notice of violation and cite the notice of hearing that was issued to Mr. Thiel under case number CE 914.
That is correct, I am.
Can you please tell the Special Magistrate how you're familiar and what the case is about?
The case involves an illicit discharge of stormwater into our MS4.
Are those regulations found in Land Development Code section -601 and 10603, and 5 is cited in the notice of violation?
That is correct.
Number of photographs and other materials in the file. Can you please explain what those photos are, what that information
Sure, I
is?
have a PowerPoint.
Pictures.
Notices you can see were provided. There's impervious ground cover along the side of the house next to the neighbor's property and otherwise. There's no gutter on the side of the house, which is a contributing factor to the drainage problem. And the drainage Problem also involves erosion along the seawall and a partial movement of the seawall, as well as overspilling over the concrete into the canal directly without
You have an opportunity to make contact with Mr. Thiel about the alleged violations that we're here about today.
I did not, but I visited the property on the 11th of February to investigate it personally.
And do the photographs that are in the file accurate and correctly reflect the condition of the property when you inspected it on that instance and any other time since then that you've been on the property?
They do.
Special Magistrate, at this time we would move into evidence of the file that before you, including the photographs. Officer Wick, was a notice of violation issued to Mr. Thiel?
It was.
Is that in the file?
It is.
Is it dated October 16, 2019?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. Subsequent to that point in time was a notice of hearing, of today's hearing, issued to property owner Mr. Thiel.
Yes, it was.
Is that also in the file?
It is.
And was it posted and mailed or both?
I believe it was posted both and mailed.
Those return receipts and those photographs of the posting are also in the file?
That is correct.
Okay. Nothing further at this time. Special Magistrate. I'm sorry. What is the based upon the nature of the violation and actions have been taken to remedy, what is the recommendation of staff as far as a date for compliance and the proposed fine if the special magistrate were to find that a violation of the code exists?
Your Honor, we're asking for 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of $250 per day be imposed with a $75 admin fee, the $75 admin fee to be paid within 10 days.
It looks like the corrective action that they would have to take relates to the removal of the pebbles, or is it more involved?
Plastic underlayment, which is
Okay.
underneath the gravel. You can see some of the black plastic sticking
Okay,
up through it.
got it.
That's what's keeping it from draining properly into the ground.
So the corrective action would be to remove the gravel and either remove or replace the plastic with a permeable screen that you can easily get at a hardware store, or not replace the impervious plastic screen. Either or.
Based on the based on the nature of the work that needs to be done, do they need a permit?
Here is that as a result of the mining, is the runoff either is not contained on this property and is either running off into the water untreated or onto the neighbor's property, and that does require a permit, particularly to the extent that a repair to the seawall may be required.
But only if their seawall is required, not just to remove the impermeable.
So that solve the problem, it would be removing the impermeable membrane.
In addition to a gutter and whatever, it's more than just removing plastic sheet.
We would want to permit it simply because we want. Potentially, possibly not. It depends on the.
Owners,
Sir?
your name and, over here.
Yeah, we got to do it from one spot.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just for the record,
Say your name.
I'm Tim Thiel.
Okay.
Thiel. I'm the property owner. Bought the place in 2015. I extended the seawall as necessary to do a 10-foot offset for my pool that I plan to do, and the entire backyard. And if you'd like to see a drawing, I don't have a PowerPoint, but I can.
Present it to the town's attorney first before bringing it over.
Yeah, I mean, if you also, if he wants to see the file, we certainly can provide him with that.
This is a copy of the survey, and it shows that my improvements, and I worked with this department over the past 2 years. Multiple complaints, it went before the magistrate in the past, and no further action was required prior to, that's about 1.5 years ago. So I extended the seawall. I brought in ASTM specifications for the material I put down, which includes a membrane, I'm an engineer, and the gravel. That was clean wash gravel to the area of improvement. The area in question, my neighbors are here, and the area in question is the 7.3 feet between our homes, and they're saying that I had illicit drainage, and I think they're using the town to harass me. Just having said that, I have multiple communications, including changing my address. I'm now a Florida State resident. That is my legal address. And the communications back and forth, I totally complied with Carl Benj, everything he said he wanted done to fix this problem, which is not a problem. The problem is that the cul-de-sac floods. And in addition, Carl told me, he's no longer with the town, that seashells are not a legal finish. My neighbors not only encroached my property by about 6 feet, but they installed seashells and irrigation without a permit. And they're complaining to me about illicit drainage for the 4th time. So I have such a record, and a lot of it's on email, so you guys can like review it all.
Do you have
And
evidence that
the membrane that they're complaining about right now was plastic that was installed probably by the previous owner well before me. I did not do that.
So that's where lies the problem. It
That's-
is
that's-
common, it is not uncommon for somebody to buy a property with a violation, and the person who just bought it inherited the problem.
Officer, the code enforcement officer can testify and will testify on rebuttal that we've checked our files and we cannot find a record that the membrane was permitted.
He just said it,
Correct.
but this was
So
installed before. Non-issue.
Well before, yes.
Yeah.
And UV degradation, I mean, the plastic that's there, it's not only torn apart partially, but it degraded, so that's not the problem. The problem, and I've approached the engineering department, it's not, you don't have one, but it's not my property that's draining, that's the problem, it's the cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac floods every time it rains, and it's not part of this phase for the improvements. No, I want to get it, I want to get the permit.
Do you have that already? Ready and plan submitted and? Okay, so you have estimates.
The town. The seawall no longer applies. So now there's a gap between the properties and the canal that I have to get a variance for. So it's going to take time.
All right, so that my question was, if you were already in the works and putting a pool, I was willing to go ahead and give you more time. Go ahead, more than the 60-day recommended, just so that you could do it all in one
I'd
sitting.
love to do it all at once.
It sounds like, but the problem that I have right now is, it sound like you really have anything that you might be requesting a variance, which again, you might get it, you might not, and then what? So my job here is to review the code and review the facts, and if there's a violation of the code, then I have to make a finding that there's a violation and request that the property owner take proper steps to go ahead and correct it.
Understood. Having said that, may I?
Of course.
The only thing that's changed as far as that part of the property is that my neighbors got rid of the lawn that next to their house. They installed shells, which I'm told through Carl Benj and this building department, that are not a legal surface area, and they installed irrigation without a permit.
And I understand that. The problem is that even though that the neighbor, like if going with everything that you're saying is being true, the problem with the neighbor was what actually revealed that there was a violation on your property. The fact that that's what caused the revelation, for lack of a better word, doesn't mean that your property is not in violation. It just happens that water draining from the other property was what revealed that there was a problem. So the code requires for it to be a permeable membrane. Right now you have an impermeable membrane. Whether that's the cause or not the cause, obviously it's a concern for the city, but at the end of the day, my job here is to say, is it in violation or not in violation? I haven't been to the property and observed the drainage issue, whether it was your neighbor or it's you. But at the end of the day, what's being brought before me is the fact that your property has an impermeable membrane that shouldn't be there.
I
So
have
that needs
proved-
to go ahead and be corrected.
I have proved to the building department and complied with everything they said over the past 18 months that I have increased the ability of my property. I have improved it. I've gotten rid of some of the concrete that was in the backyard. I put in a pervious membrane and clean washed ASTM approved gravel. The only thing that changed, and I want this to be on record, is that my neighbors changed their surfacing and got rid of their lawn and installed irrigation, which created their own problem. And he purposely dug the hole by the seawall, which creates a low-pressure area, and I have an engineering report that I made, and I gave it to the town, that creates a low-pressure area, so it's sucking all the water from everything that's above grade to that point. They created their own problem.
But there's a permeable membrane at the property right now. I mean, you even stated that it has been there.
In my side yard and my front yard, I have no problem pulling the plastic out.
And it seems that
That's
that's
it.
what the town for, either a removal. And okay, so we're gonna give you time. But that's
Is it legally incumbent upon me to fix something that was there prior to my purchase? Okay.
the violations.
Is it not a violation if they install irrigation without a permit?
That's a different.
And shells.
That's a different case, separate.
Want to file a complaint against your neighbor? That's perfectly okay. We'll investigate it.
Okay, I tried, and I have it in writing. I have email chains like you
All
wouldn't
right,
believe.
we'll investigate. I'll make sure that staff follows through.
Appreciate that.
Okay?
And if you're interested, their downspout,
It
is
doesn't matter. We're
directly-
here about your property, not about the neighbor's property.
okay,
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the 60 days, try to get a plan in action, get it to talk to the city, to correct it. If for some X or Y reason you need additional time, it'll get brought back to me to go ahead. But at the end of the day, based on that work has to be done. The neighbor issue, as you heard, the town attorney will be handled.
does it matter that this was already dismissed by a previous magistrate?
It's coming to me as a 2019 case. So for my purposes, it's being brought as a new case today. So for my purposes, absent you having some type of evidence from somebody higher up on the chain of command saying we're approving it with the impermeable membrane, I'm not seeing here today, then that's violation and it has to be.
To be clear, I literally just have to take the
No,
plastic
I'm not
out.
telling you that you have to take the plastic out. I told you case to meet with the town. Go ahead and figure out if maybe just removing the plastic out might solve it. It might not. I don't have the answer to that because I'm just a magistrate. I just hear facts and apply the ordinance.
Understand.
They'll give you more guidance, and that's the reason that I'm letting you know, even though I'm giving you 6 days, that if for good cause you need additional time, you can request additional time. But it has to be addressed. All right. So I hereby find that based on the evidence presented, the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continue. I'm hereby ordering the property owner to come into compliance within 60 days, and that might include a permit, so make sure that you stay in communication. Otherwise, face a fine of $250 a day until the violation is corrected, and I'm also assessing the $75 administrative fees and cost as incurred by the town in bringing this magistrate, which shall be payable within 10 days. Okay? Stay in touch with your magistrate.
Can I request that this is the last time, once I comply with this, that they can use the town to harass me?
Again, get into compliance. If you're in compliance, they can't. They just got you somewhere compliance and you do things the way they're supposed to be done, they'll come to me and I'll say, no violation. Actually, I'd be shocked if it even makes it to me. Building department knows what they're doing. There's a brand new staff working on these, so. Okay. Good. Yes, sir? No, you already closed. Are you the neighbor? It's not regarding, I already ruled on it. They need to go ahead and correct the violation.
There were some things that I wanted to verify that were.
It doesn't matter, it's already been closed out. I already found the violation, he's got to correct it. If it's regarding the statements he made about your property, I'm assuming that you're that neighbor, that's not before me today. It's not before me today.
Okay.
All right, next case.
Number 6 on the agenda, CE 190551, owner of record Shirley Burton, violation of section Development Code 5.1, work with officer in question.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me.
Special matter. Going through the people who are here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What number was this one again? I'm sorry.
Number 6.
Okay, yeah. Oh, definitely. Get these people out of there so they can keep moving on with their lives.
Record.
My name is Eli Lee.
Are you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach? Code enforcement officer.
I am.
And in that capacity, is it your responsibility to inspect and determine that there are or not violations of the town code?
That's correct.
Property at 166 Coconut Drive.
Yes, I am.
Tell the special magistrate how you are familiar with.
Yeah. So I picked up this case. Storage. From the picture of 2015.
There are a series of photographs and printouts from the Lee County property appraiser indicating testified. Is that were those pictures? Were these pictures taken by you, or are there pictures in here taken by you? Pictures that you took accurately reflect the without a permit. Verified the prior condition of the property through. And are those photographs of the condition of the property prior in time also in the file? Have you had any contact with the property owner?
Yes, I. There and talked to the owner of the property about trying to help her as best as we can. Ask her about,
Let me ask you this. Yeah, very good detective work you did on pictures. It looks like the original layout had it's a screen enclosure, and they went ahead and they drywall up and just basically, okay. Make sure that I understood the layout.
the photograph.
Yeah.
As of today, where, whether or not the property owner has submitted a permit application to town, to obtain an after-the-fact permit for these improvements. Was a notice of violation issued to the property owner?
Yes.
Subsequent to that point in time, was a notice of hearing for today's hearing also sent to the property owner?
Yes.
Those in the file?
Yes, they are.
Mail the notice or post the notices?
Yes.
Both?
Oh, both, yeah, both are.
Okay, both are in the file, and the return receipt cards are in the file as well.
That's correct.
Time we've moved to enter the file into the record, or the contents of the file into the record.
So admitted.
Special magistrate, and what is the recommended, what's the staff's recommendation as far as time for compliance and the proposed fine?
Your Honor, we would like to ask for 30 days to have a permit issued, or a $75 admin fee to be paid in days. And we would also ask that if you would agree to have a status update on the April, just to everything is moving smoothly, both on the staff side and the response. April, I think that's the April 16th. Okay. We're going to add, well, 30 days from today would be early April. So then we just want back to see if there's any problems. We would like to kind of deal with you, some issues on the respondent side with staff. So we just want everything is running properly. Yeah.
Right. Put in 30 days.
Okay,
That
that's
way-
fine. That's fine.
Special magistrate is aware. Always a concern on behalf of staff in the town that work done without a permit is inherently dangerous because we don't know.
I said
And so
Florida,
that's why we are asking for a relatively short period of time, as well as for the fine. Without a permit, without proper inspections, do create health safety concern, not only the property owners, but anyone who structure.
We have somebody here on behalf of the owner. Please come on up. Your name and relationship. You both took the oath? Did you both take the oath?
Yes.
Okay. State your name and relationship.
Burton.
Okay. What happened with this property that it got?
At first, when they first came there, I didn't know why they were there. I mean, they didn't tell me, but what had happened was my son had stopped down the church one day coming home, and he saw a woman crying and wanted to know what was wrong, and she said she didn't have a place to go to live, that they were going to be do you mind if my son talks?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
How did this, what happened that this, enclosure closed?
We didn't even know.
They got divorced and got 2003 when surprised her with the,
Windows in,
He-
took the
he-
screen down.
been up since 2000. And then when very pleasant scene. Carl left her taxes for 10 years. Did. They unfortunately, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, Carlin just built the room, added it on in 2003.
Well, he didn't build the room,
He did it
took the
with
screen down.
Scott, and I
Windows
have
in.
Scott's.
And Scott,
He's
the
down the street from us. He's a contractor.
he's a contractor.
I wasn't living there at the but the room has been what Carl did as far as code and everything. I would assume it as a real
Or the contractor.
problem with it at all. So the unit was all went if the did come down here, fortunately our computer so we could not call. When we would call, we got no return phone. Walking down the street, catching a trolley down here. Anyways, 2003, Carl Indris is husband.
Put the window.
I did put the air conditioner unit. So whatever, like, I have to pay, willing to pay a permit until my boss, his knows I don't email. Finally sent an email, and the email that came back so that's why we don't something.
What is that room? Is it a bedroom? Is
It's
it
just a sunroom.
porch?
It's a
sunroom.
It's just
It
a
was a
sunroom.
sunroom.
We
until he
don't
put
even
the
spend
windows in.
time. I go out there and open up the window, and that air conditioner. No, there's electric already.
So
Plugs
the
out
only
there.
thing that you had done was, I guess, he put some drywall, put the windows in, and then put in the AC?
Carl Indris did all that. All I did was put a window.
So, just in the same fashion that I had the other there, it's your property, it's your problem. something that has been done without permit. Follow Florida Building Code, and that's the first requisite of Florida Building Code is you need a permit to do works, and this one falls within parameters that you were supposed to have. Your best bet is to go through an after what's called act permit. Get somebody who's going to go. But that is a process that you go through with the town. Occasions, depending on the work that's done, it might require you having to hire an architect to go ahead and do that certification. The actual procedure is outside of my here today, but there is people here, and you're here today. You might as well take advantage that you both are here. Building department to address it and get the ball. The town has requested for a status, status update especially given the circumstances, to go ahead and grab, so that I can go ahead and, for purposes of this hearing, elderly and live at the property, you should. Sounds like it's going to be you. Is that okay with the town? That way your mom can stay home. The next hearing. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to enter my order. Go ahead and give you time to go ahead and get that after fact. Both are here. You might go ahead and retire that right now. Get instructions as to what you're going to need. Permit. Get that inspected so everybody. It'll save you later on, especially when you sell the property. This is something that was going to come up either now or later.
The bank's going to, she passes.
Okay. It's gonna show up sooner or later. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and enter my order, and then you can go ahead and talk to somebody in the.
We'll get together.
Yeah. I hereby find that the violations, as stated in the notice of violation, did exist and continue to exist. By ordering the property to obtain the proper permits by April 16th of 2020, otherwise face a fine of $200 until the violation is corrected. And I'm also imposing, I'm going to give you a reduction on the, drop it down to 50 in fees by the time I'm bringing this matter before the magistrate. That is payable within 10 days. You can pay it today. You can take care of that today. And at the same time, go ahead and as part of the order, I'm going to advise that the property owners do appear on the next hearing, which is, I believe, to provide a status update as to where they're.
It keeps turning. So sorry.
That's probably his boss.
Okay, so you're gonna, on April 16th,
Yes.
hopefully by then you have everything running. You're gonna come it, or you have to hire somebody so that we can address. Doesn't have to come. Yeah, just step outside. This is not a big city hall, so
Yeah.
you should be able to go ahead and get directions as to where to go for the payment and for the.
Burton.
Yeah.
Not only pay the fine, but you need to meet with town staff to start the permitting process. You do get a permit. That is what
Exactly
that's
what
what,
I'm
saying.
so
And how much is
while
the
you're
permit?
here, please make sure that you meet with the building staff to obtain the proper paperwork and understand what you're going to need in order to be able to come back here in April and potentially be in compliance. If not,
It's gonna start
fines are gonna
accruing
begin to accrue.
fines.
So,
Okay.
but how much is the permit?
Gotta go outside. You gotta go to the
They'll tell
building
you. You
department
need to-
and.
There's a building department with staff that can inform you, and that's all we've been asking
Are
is
they
for you to
here?
submit an application and obtain a permit. Okay?
Because we've had serious problems. Of the deputies that
So what we're gonna do now is things. One of them make payment, the other one go talk to the building department about an after-the-fact permit. They'll guide you through the process, okay? On April 16th, another new hearing notice will be sent out, yes. Okay, right?
That's when my husband, that I was married to at that time, he put that room out there with the screen so I could go out there and enjoy the fresh air.
Department to get to get that all squared away, okay?
You don't have to share anything.
Well, we don't know that yet. We're gonna go ahead and,
Todd is going to escort
Okay,
over to
and
see
remember
our
that that's another-
permit tech, so they can,
and as an FYI, there's another viable alternative is to remove in the first place. That's another option, but the building department will let you know about that. The enclosure. If you put the property back again to the way it was before, so long as it was properly permitted,
2003.
so long as it was properly permitted before, the way that it was permitted by the town. Thank you. Good luck to you. All right.
Seven on the agenda, 5-9, the owner of record, fund is Linda Wallace, the officer is, the alleged violation is section 6-111, Town Land Development Code adopting the Florida Building Code, specific 5.1 of the Florida work without permit. Mr. Quick.
Sir,
You've been previously sworn in, is that correct?
it is correct.
And you testified that you are an employee of the town of Fort Myers Beach, floodplain manager.
That's correct.
In regard to this particular 5-9, are you familiar with the property located at 15?
I am.
Can you tell the special magistrate, I'm sorry, Madam Special Magistrate, enter into the record, into evidence, the file on the previous case?
Oh, so admitted, yeah.
I'm sorry, 5-9, how are you familiar with the property?
I visited the property on the 2nd of February this year. Work being done on the lower floor. There had been permits for work at the house on the upper floors to enclose in porches, but no permit was a enclosure beneath the house. Record search with Lee County, and all the records related to work at the found there were no permits on file for that work under current condition of the house does not meet the program guidelines. Low base flood elevation in a special high hazard area.
I'm familiar with that. Can you please explain what that means? Violation, photographs, and the site inspection that you did.
When I did the site inspection, the ground floor was clearly closed in. It even had an air on doing some work. I saw then in 2000 and 2006, the property was open beneath, closed after that time.
What is the distinction between potentially enclosing it versus enclosing it with electrical work or something else that would potentially make downstairs habitable versus non-habitable space? Purpose of the floodplain.
Only have storage. You can only have building access, parking in that level. And it has to be vented properly for the
Electrical work or any other type of improvement designed to structure for habitable purposes by presumptively the residents, the humans, prohibited code, the town's code and insurance program?
Explicitly.
Okay. And the photographs disclose, the section is that the area has not only been enclosed, but it's been finished out as habitable space?
I've not personally been inside the structure, but it does.
From your inspection?
Yes, sir.
Have you taken photographs of the property that show the alleged violation?
Yes, sir.
Part of the file?
They are, sir.
Violation, or town issue notice of violation to the property owner for the alleged violation of. Subsequent to that point in time, did the town also issue a notice? That in the file?
Yes, sir.
Time, record the photographs and the violation
So
was,
admitted.
regard to the both notice and hearing and notice of violation, was it sent to the property owner by mail and posted?
Yep.
Both, okay. That is, the photographs show both of those?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
State your name and relationship to the case, please.
While the property owner is coming forward, the requested compliance within 60 days or a $1 fine, $75 administrative fee, pay within 10 days again. Or the higher fine is because of violation, the fact that the improvement acted and frankly not permittable in this particular.
My name is Linda Wallace. I'm the property owner.
Judged by the town is?
Yes.
Okay. You knew about permits because there were permits for the upstairs.
I thought the permit included the whole enclosure. This all happened, my home was destroyed in hurricane. Nightmare. We hired Hill Home Improvement, who is no. And it was just, my husband died in 2006 when this all was through. I had 3 young children, working full time, and I had to fight a different situation where filed in 2007. I go to lepod.org. I thought it included the. Came in here last week. My current husband for 30, and we got a plan going forward.
Okay.
And we're going to get the permits, and we're going to do what has to be done. But just at that time frame, I honestly, we've had that room 2007. I thought everything was kosher, and got this violation.
You understand that? Okay.
I've actually contacted a director and a survey.
Okay, great. Especially on this one, that the correction is not getting a permit, it's gonna be demo, and from the looks of it, it's fact that you're gonna have to hire or somebody to help you, especially. I haven't been there, I don't know the details of it, but I'm just letting you know that even though I'm giving you 60 days, that if you have good cause, make sure that you stay in contact with the town. Go ahead and request an extension, okay?
I will.
Alrighty, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation. I'm hereby giving the property owner, ordering the property owner to come into compliance within 60 days or face a fine of day until the violation is corrected. Also assessing $75 in fees and costs. Shall be payable within, payable right away is gonna be the rest of it, again, keep posted. They're, them informed, they'll bend over backwards for you. The problem is when people ignore them. They really don't care about the violation. In your case, it's obviously a safety issue. Right, thank you.
For hearing. One 908. Violation is of Land Development Code. The owner of record is John Cummings, and the code enforcement officer is
Oh, yeah.
is the one who helps with shifts.
There she is. Got sworn in from the booth.
I had to do it again.
Do I swear from that testimony?
Can you please state your record?
Kristen Schumacher.
Employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
How are you so employed? As the short-term rental coordinator, is it your responsibility town short-term rental regulations, including section 34 property located at 139 Curlew Street?
Yes.
Can you please? I'm sorry. Advise the special magistrate how you're familiar with the property.
I did online in a monthly rental. I went online research, rental calendars in the packet. I also have reviews showing their 2020 office, or not this out, helps me. He drives cars and property and over. And
what you mean are restrictions? Can you explain what that means? Does that mean that in this, because of where this property is located, that the property can only have monthly rentals?
they are located in RS zone and pursuant. They are only allowed one rental a month.
And testimony is that 1 month period, multiple rentals in violation of section. There are a number of items in the agenda packet that has been provided to the special magistrate. Can you please, what they are?
Well, I started off with the rental ad and info. I just want to establish that I have the correct property and that in the rental ad, there's a minimum pay that they offer nights online. Then I go to my progression of, I take a few months and do rental calendars, progression of how the rental calendar fills.
That in the file?
That is in the file, and you can see breaks in the weeks.
I think that you testified that in conjunction with Officer Stout, staff then essentially field verifies that rentals are taking place more than one time a month.
It's easier to see on this. In my packet, I have the dates on there, but
Single
stop.
technology. This one.
Yes, this
Okay.
one.
What does this photograph?
This shows cars were there, that 1216 was 1223. RV and the two.
Ask you this, do the photographs and the dates coincide with the rental dates on the calendar?
Yes.
So on those dates, on your past experience with types of violations, that's indicative of a new renter
Yes.
calendar that's also in the file. Did you have any contact with the property owner?
No.
What is the procedure? Under the town's regulations, a operator of a short-term rental required to register?
Oh, they're required to register. They're provide their registration.
That information is provided to the property owner when come in for the registration?
Yes.
Property registered?
My name is Norma Bolt, actually Shay.
Okay, so this property is getting rented out at a weekly rental? What is the city request?
The past practice would just ask that they cease the act, go through the end of the month and purge rentals for the month and ask that clients within 30 days, $1 day for each after, and $75 admin fee.
All right, is there anything further?
Have several people that had rent, last one I have is that. All the rest, we have changed the. I'm not in this business.
Grandfather. So
April 23rd to.
the person that's staying from the 1st to the 18th? The person that's staying 1st to the 19th?
I have someone coming in. Actually, I have someone coming in. I have the whole list right here.
My question is, from the 1st to the 19th, how long does the first person from the week of the first week, who's
Oh,
that week, and when do they
let
leave?
me get my
I don't need the
glasses.
name, I just need to know when they leave.
3/14,
4/4, okay.
yeah.
So cut you off at 4/4, which is actually ends up being 30 days. Just okay, so I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continues to exist by ordering the property owner to come into compliance in 30 days, otherwise face a fine of $200 until the violation is corrected. And I'm also assessing $75. So basically, you have until bookings until April 4th can be billed, but thereafter, the owner's going to have to contact renters and make different arrangements. Next case.
Item 14 on the agenda, case number, citation 764. The code enforcement officer had checks, and the alleged violation of the code is 455, the land development code, with regard to Special Magistrate. You heard this, ask for a status report because of the potential time that it would take required permits from the various. And it impose I don't know if the property owner or they'd hired a environmental consultant. Questions of the property owners are here as well.
Okay. All right. So status update and a potential time. Let's go ahead and hear from the property owners. There on behalf of the property owner? And relationship to the case. Name, relationship to the case. Okay. You're the owner?
I own the.
Okay, so what has happened since last time the case was heard?
Okay.
Since last time the case was heard.
Contracted with Hodge Marine. Also, I have talked to Town of Fort Myers, Chad, but the person that we have also talked to with Department of Florida, Blaine Preston, and he can't do anything yet. So it comes down, been submitted for inspection. They get the approval, then they can meet with us.
You lost me there. So they told
Okay,
you
well,
that.
first of all, we called the department. An email and a call, said he cannot meet with us until it's in his pipeline.
Okay.
So he said that won't be till late March, possibly even April. Also, a contract with Hodge Marine February to start the permits.
Contact with the Department of Environmental Service.
We're waiting for them to contact us.
Do you have a copy?
On the phone. Email it to
Go
you.
ahead
It's in
and,
it's in the packet?
oh, you have it already? Okay, so you're
Yeah.
aware, the town is aware of the movement?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's after the property owner, Officer Schutz can confirm.
Oh, I see it here. Who did the inspection report? It was submitted to,
Nobody, they haven't done it yet.
there's a reference to, I said it over the phone, I have submitted the inspection report.
We believe that's FDEP's internal.
Okay, internal, okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't come out, he hasn't even got authorization to come out to the site.
Got it.
So on the 15th, by mail, I received the violation. Transpired at the last. And there's two things on here. The $50 fine has not been paid because I'm probably going to appeal it because it's excessive. I was asking if that could be revisited. I be paid, I'm going to appeal it.
And next,
And then the other possible to, I can't even meet with the department.
Staff is willing to work with the property owner with respect. As well as the town staff.
Yeah.
Frankly, staff at this point is fine.
okay,
Are working with, as I understand, property owner and consultant to a restoration plan, but we do have the issue of the outstanding.
so, enter an order giving you an additional time to come back and give me a status report. Process, because obviously this is one where you have two agencies, working together, that I understand that until FDP, you're kind of your hands are tied. So I get that. That's why.
The other thing I want to tell you is I received an amended that my court wasn't even until the 16th. But I just, because I'm in contact with the town.
Well, you were better off coming today.
Oh, but they sent it to me.
Yeah, so that was a good thing, because otherwise you would have started. Because you're at the mercy of Florida DP. Go ahead and give you the extension of the, until April 16th, you'll come back, you'll give me an update. No fines are gonna be accruing. They're not gonna accrue, because so on April 16th, go ahead and request another step. First, the $1,500, I go ahead and pay that. The reason for the $1,500 was the fact that irreparable harm done to by Florida statute.
Right to appeal it.
right to do a lot of things.
Okay.
All right.
Because if I get I'm the owner, but I didn't cut them down, but it doesn't matter, I understand, it falls on my shoulders. But I also, if it's call it irreparable harm, but if I do get the credits to have them removed, then they would be gone anyway, if they grant that.
I want to go ahead and hire.
And that's why I have all these people.
Speak with your environmental person. Of you. But that's, again, that's outside.
I mean, I'm trying to meet with them.
Okay, so this is outside my, what is here today. The request for the extension is granted. Status update at that date.
Special magistrate.
5.
We're back to front of the agenda. Item number 5 has been withdrawn by staff. We're in the process of working out a compliance agreement with the property owner, and that'll be presented to you. On the agenda is item number 190662, property location 140 Jefferson Street, alleged violation of Section 6-111 of the Land Development Code, which adopts the Florida Building Code, and particularly Section 105.1 of the Florida Building Code, requires permit for all work. Driveway installed without a permit issued from the town. Officer is Officer Warren, is that correct?
That's correct.
Employed by the town enforcement officer, is that correct?
That's correct.
In that function, your responsibility to enforce the various codes and regulations of the town.
That's correct.
Familiar with the property located at 140. Tell the special magistrate how you are.
The case because there's a lease update from the property. I went by the property, inspected it. Changed from a couple years ago to now. Going on. Unfortunately, they clients
did you inspect the property?
I inspected the property.
While you were there, did you take any photographs of the property?
Yes, I have.
Photographs accurate and correctly reflect the condition of the property that currently exists?
Yes.
Did you also research to determine what the condition of the property was prior to current configuration? Photographs in the file showing how the property looked prior to the Have you had any contact with the property owner? But you did advise them that they could obtain a permit and subject to inspection, get this after the fact permit, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
As of today's date, have any permit applications been submitted by the property owner for the obtain an after the fact permit for the driveway that was built without? Testify that as a result of this investigation, the town's permit had been applied for or obtained for the driveway improvements. Notice of violation to the property owner.
Yes, I have.
Also issue and post the property with the notice of violation and the notice of hearing? File.
Yes.
Record, the file. Notice of hearing, notice. Ask that clients within $1 a day per fine. After and $75.
Okay. Hereby noted that there's nobody here. And that the file provided by the town would include a series of emails wherein the owner narrated the violation. That he was duly advised regarding the need for a permit. Or I hereby find that the evidence presented, the violation, ordering the property owner to come into case, otherwise face a until the property dollars in fees and as incurred by the town in bringing this, and this order based on the fact that or going up for sale in the near so that the world can be on notice that there's a problem.
Next item on the agenda is item number 9. Item number 9 and number 10 are the same violation, same property.
Different.
I'm sorry. They separate addresses.
Oh, okay.
For a violation of Land Development Code Section 14-5, beach furniture and equipment, subparagraph J, requires a permit to be issued by the town for the right to furniture and equipment in EC zoning district. Critical. The officer in question is Officer Stout. Are you
Yes, or he was not?
no?
Oh.
Officer Stout, are you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach?
Yes.
How are you so employed? That capacity, is it your responsibility to enforce the provisions of code violations?
Yes, it is.
Are you familiar with the properties? We'll just 1046 Estero Boulevard -0017.
Yes, sir.
How are you so familiar?
Parking lot?
Okay, but we are talking about the
Beach property, yes.
beach property,
Yes.
not the parking lot.
Yeah, it's the beach area behind the parking lot.
What have you observed taking place there?
I've observed on that there are
Okay. Have you, during your visits to the site, have you had a chance to take photographs of the activity violation of the code?
days a week, I do believe.
Your own words, what is the nature of the violation? How does this violate the code?
As you said earlier, it requires a They did not have a use.
Verified, electronic or otherwise. Had any conversations with the property owner regarding this matter? Violation to the property owner. Did you subsequently issue a notice of or photographs of those violation notice of hearing file?
Yes, they are.
Mail the notice?
Don't have them certified.
Post?
Yes.
Evidence of both of those are in the file.
Yes.
And as of today, does the property continue to be in violation of section 14-5 of the, okay. Further.
Doing the notice of violation,
Yes, we are making that, it is a repeat violation. There are a number of other violations that the special found with regards to this property. And so as a result, we are asking that it be treated as a violation.
has there been prior violations regarding?
You have entered liens
That's
based
what I
on
thought.
citations, or we issued citation before, you entered liens on both properties based on the citation. Still continuing, and this time we did it with a notice of violation.
All right, what is the?
Town is asking for immediate compliance. As it is a repeat violation, the property owner is well aware that this is ongoing and applied immediately. So we would ask for a compliance period, not $500 per day as a result of the violation, and the fact that unfortunately the property owner unwilling apply for the, now I will, staff will tell you, I as the attorney will tell you that as we presented the previous cases, because of our code, this is, as it doesn't meet the parameters in our code for the issuance of this permit. And the property owner's been advised of this. Yet nonetheless, he continues this activity in violation of the code. So the compliance is the removal, because it can't be permitted at this location.
Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the that this is a repeat violator for exactly the same. I hereby order the property owner to come into compliance, otherwise face a fine of corrected. I'm also imposing a one-time fine of $500 by the repeat violation. Order also assessing dollars as incurred by
the Madam Magistrate, I went to, full disclosure, inform the special magistrate applies equally to the staff did receive email this morning from the property owner desire for a continuance. He advised him that the matter was forward, that his request was not timely under our code.
Was there good cause or just I want to continue?
I just want to continue.
Okay.
I can.
All right. Well,
read
so
you
we'll hear the request for the continuance and the.
Okay. All right. Next item is number 10 on the agenda. Case number CE 20-0018. The property in question is 1028 Estero Boulevard. The owner of record is Prasad Properties Florida Investment LLC. The alleged violation is section 14-5 of the Land Development Code, beach furniture and equipment permit required for rental without a permit. From this, no different than the prior case, but the officer again is Officer Stout. Officer Stout, you've been sworn in.
Yes, sir.
You are a code enforcement officer for the town of Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
That capacity is your responsibility to enforce the code throughout the town.
Yes, sir.
Familiar with the property at 1028 Sarah Boulevard?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell the special magistrate how you're familiar with the property?
I've been calling the town of Fort Myers Beach. And this is the beach property outside the
zoning district?
Yes, sir.
What is taking place on the property that is in violation of section 14-5?
What is the picture? All over it. And
That prohibited under the code without a permit.
yes,
Are you aware of any permit application to was a notice of violation issued to the property owner for this violation?
yes,
Notice of hearing for today's hearing sent to the property owner.
yes, I have.
So evidence of that in the file that special magistrate.
Yes,
Photographs were taken by you or by staff indicating the violation.
yes, sir.
As of your most recent inspection, which I believe was yesterday, the property is still in non-compliance.
Yes, sir, it is.
No permit application has been submitted. And the had communications with the property owner to advise them that, and the property owner has had corrective action.
Absolutely.
Time to communicate with staff with regard to this matter.
Not to my knowledge.
Special magistrate record the photographs and special magistrate find cited section of the code. Property owner be given 24 hours for compliance. Proposed is property towards the previous case, documented history of violation taking place. Violation, correct, Stout?
Yes, it is.
Violation. Property owner's been made aware of it.
Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation is and thereby imposing a one-time fine of $100 and 24 hours to come into compliance, otherwise face a fine of corrected. I'm also assessing $75.
And within 10 days?
Payable within 10 days.
Number 11, 0651. The property in question is 4830 Coral Road. The property owner, Lonnie Lettieri, is the trustee for the Lonnie Trust. And previously been sworn in, that's correct?
Yes.
And you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach?
Yes.
Short-term rental coordinator?
Yes.
Okay. Are you property at 4830 Coral Road?
Yes. Property along with the ad. Nights. Packet, I have my progression of 4-night stays starting. Then my progression of my rent. Also, my September. There, I have one in October to stay for 4. And then Officer Bill Stout.
And the rental calendar, as well as the evidence that this property is available for rentals of that in the file?
Yes.
Rental calendar itself is also in the file?
Yes.
Photographs that you mentioned file as well? Yeah, that's, no, like you said, it's done a lot of investigation. Those photographs show multiple cars, different cars on different dates, all within 1 month's time.
Yes.
Different weeks as well.
Yes.
Just so we're clear, the violation is that in this area of the town, a property owner can have short-term rentals, but only one per month, and it must be 1 week. Is that correct?
Yes. Back at the zoning, they are in an R.
Have you had any contact with the property owner?
Yes.
And what has been the property owner's response?
And all his neighbors are renting.
And whether or not this property criteria for fathering under the code?
They do not.
Benefit, can you please explain what that means or how?
2003.
A property was properly, if a property was properly registered on or before that date, they are allowed to continue as a criteria is that they must have been registered. Was this property registered on?
They may have been, but they and have a different set of criteria. And in order to keep that status, are renew every year.
Correct. So,
Okay.
so let me.
I just-
do you know if they registered time frame specified?
No.
Grandfather, if they would have had the chance, the grandfather is gone.
Yeah.
Are they currently registered?
Yeah.
I believe your testimony in the prior case is that when someone does come in to register, town staff provides them with the applicable regulations, explains to them what is and isn't allowed in a particular zoning district. Is that correct?
explain specifically.
Provide that information. Information is on the application forms,
Yes.
what is or isn't permitted to qualify.
Yes.
At this time, Special Magistrate file the photographs. Sorry, notice of hearing, notice of violation, notice of hearing, violation of this hearing provided to the property owner.
Yes.
That's in the file.
Yes.
Evidence presented, I hereby violation as stated in the within 30 days, thereby within the next 30 days. After those 30 days, there will be no more on this, and a fine per day will begin to apply until the violation.
Item is 12 on the agenda, case number C-19-056. Location of the property is at 4841 Coral Road. The property owner is Milano, and alleged violation is of section 34. 4 weekly rental restrictions. More than one weekly rental in one, it can have short-term rentals, but only once per month. And the officer is Kristen Schumacher. Schumacher, you've been employed by the town of Fort Myers short-term rental coordinator. Responsibility to administer town short-term rental regulations.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property at 4841 Coral Road?
Yes.
Tell the special magistrate how you are so familiar.
Being that they are doing weekly rentals in a month. Again, I have the rental ad. Does say they change it to a minimum. I highlighted in that there's been documented stays on the reviews, which I haven't also included. I have included rental calendars. Gone over months. For reviews, that's
Times.
at different times. I do not have any drive-bys. I have spoken with the owner of the property. But they do also rentals for March.
Acknowledge non-compliance with the.
Yes.
Okay. Special mention, this time we'd like to enter into the notice of hearing. Notice of violation was issued for, I'm sorry, notice of violation, notice of hearing was file.
Yes.
Time special mention we'd ask file be entered into the record. Staff would ask for finding a violation, 30 days to come into compliance, purge themselves of the rentals, dollars a day for each day there.
I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation continues to exist. Case, otherwise face violation is corrected. I'm also assessing cost as incurred by the town in bringing this shall be payable within 10 days.
Okay. Five minutes.
Need a 5-minute break?
5-minute break, please.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
16 and 17 on the agenda. That's case numbers 180700, 18724, and 2000. That we are finished with, I believe. Move on to the imposition of lien hearings. In that regard, we have two items. First is item 24 on the agenda, number CE 190558. Property location is 190 Tarpon Road. The section of the code is section 3.302.4, Land Development Code. The property owners are like to be the estate of Ibrahim Malik. To refresh the special magistrate's memory, this was an overgrown lot. Was testified as to by Officer Stout. Property is still in non-compliance. Is that correct, Officer Stout? Been previously sworn. That's correct.
Yes, I have been.
Have you inspected the property at 190 Tarpon Road in the last several days?
Yes.
Is the condition of the property the same as it was at the time of the violation?
The lawn issue has area and the fact of a lot of work, but they had still had previous fines.
I thought also this wasn't there an open hole in this?
That is part of the other case that we have. Light issue.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That issue's in that case.
So, I'm sorry. Case number CE 19 currently in compliance? Okay. Did they come into compliance with the time frame specified? Best to your knowledge. How many days they were in non-compliance?
Citation. So the amount of days it took, I mean, they did not come into compliance within the amount of citation stated. So there's just the citation fine that needs to be, and the administrative cost that you ordered. That's the lien that we're after.
Yeah, so they've ordered them to pay the citation. They haven't paid it. Asking for the special magistrate to order to that effect and property for the amount of.
We're on the first one, so first. Okay. It is hereby noted that there's nobody here on behalf of the property. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violations that my order dated December 3rd of 2019 within the time frame. And I am hereby, and that fines the amount of $350 plus the $75 in fees and costs have not been paid, and I'm therefore certifying said order in the amount of $325, which will continue to accrue given. But by certifying this order, it shall become a lien property and it'll be recorded in public records of the county.
Thank you. The next case, your special magistrate is number 25 on the agenda. The reference citation number 2019-0778. The property in question is at 190 Tarpon Road. Section of the code and found to be in violation of is Amendment of Code Section 6-1, which is the adoption of the National Property Maintenance Code, and particularly violation of Section 301.2 of that code. The condition of the property is blighted. If you may recall the photographs, testimony was property is still whole.
The open hole has been filled, but the property, the structure is.
As a result, we'd ask that you property owners not pay the fine. Is that correct? The non-payment that find that the property is not in compliance. Certify a fine in the amount of $320 for the citation, plus the $75 property.
Hereby find that based on the evidence presented, that the magistrate's order dated December 3rd of 2019 has that fines have accrued of this date.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
3 days from the date ordered it to come to compliance. 4 hours. 103 days from November 22nd.
Times 250.
Hold on. 5,750 as of today's date. Still not into compliance. And the 75 would be 25,825.
The magistrate order dated December 3rd, 2019 has not been complied with. Fines have accrued in the amount of $25,750 and shall continue to accrue at the rate of $250 a day due to the fact that the violations have not been corrected. The $75 of fees and costs have also not been paid in addition to the fine. I hereby certify this order in the amount of $25,825, which shall continue to accrue at the rate of $250 corrected. And by certifying this order, it shall become a lien property and it shall be recorded records of the county floor. And with this one, we conclude today. Great. All right. Thank you all.